Hello and welcome everyone to the Wednesday, June 5th edition of the Biweekly SIG ContribEx meeting. Reminder that we do operate under a code of conduct that essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. To start things off, we like to offer the opportunity for anyone on the call to introduce themselves, totally optional. I will kick things off. I'm Caslin Fields, and I am a co-chair of Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience, which is the group that this meeting is for. This SIG is all about things that are related to the experience of being a contributor in Kubernetes. So we have various sub-projects, which we will go through today and ask for updates on from anyone who's on the call, who's involved with those projects. And my pronouns are she, her. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves?
Certainly. I am Chris Short. I've been part of the project for a long time now, 7+ years. I work at Amazon, and I'm the comms lead, which is a sub-project of this group with Caslin as well. My pronouns are he, him.
Would anyone else like to introduce themselves? All right. We'll move into things then. One more housekeeping item before we move into the agenda. Would anyone like to volunteer to be note taker today? Folks are doing an amazing job of filling out the note stock already. Any volunteers?
Volunteer if you want.
Thank
I'd
you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Tell me if I make any mistakes.
We'll help you out. It's really,
Great. It's good.
it's always a group effort, really, but having
Mhm.
someone who's at least trying is an important baseline.
Okay.
All right. So I feel like I should start explaining the note-taking role when I ask for that. Basically, what we want you to do is, as we have conversation, write down what you hear so that if someone checks out the notes later, they can get an idea of what was talked about.
Got it.
As best you can. Because I've done that a few times now where folks' first question is like, but what does a note-taker do? I should explain that.
Yeah.
It is important to clarify the scope of the role. All right. And so with that, we will move into the agenda. Did I cover all of the welcome and recurring business? Yes, I think
Yes.
so. So the first item on the agenda is events. So Mario, would you like to talk about how the Contributor Summit planning is going?
Yeah, so we have received this planning document from the CNCF yesterday, the day before yesterday, Monday. Also, we have the website PR out. Bob made some comments. I need to work them in so that we can prepare it for tomorrow, because the idea was to have it online on the 6th of June because of celebration. I'm still waiting for the registration link. That also needs to go in there. If it not goes in there, at least the website will go in there. We can basically start putting out communication tomorrow. We are still looking for a social lead. I think that's it.
The social lead, was that a newly created role or has it always been like that? I
It
forget.
has always been there. It's
Cool.
for the party thing in the evening.
Yeah,
Got
venue
it.
planning.
That
It's
thing.
kind of a tough one.
When you say social, I immediately think social media, so that's why I was asking.
Oh,
No, social social event thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
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 I mean, there
Social
was
media.
Pardon my confusion.
Sorries.
Social media falls under comms.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I can do that. No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I would like to add in that I did create some docs for the comms bit of the Contributor Summit, which thank you, Chris, for reviewing.
It's a really good doc, Caslin. Thank you for writing
Yay!
that.
I'm so excited about it. I was avoiding writing the blog post yesterday. And so I did that.
So we're all scrambling this morning. That's all.
Yeah, you know,
comms.
that's fine. But it resulted in a great doc. So
It's funny. In my one-on-one, great doc. My one-on-one last week, I was like, yeah, so the whole Kubernetes birthday thing's happening next week. I guarantee you Wednesday I'll be doing nothing but Kubernetes stuff. And that's pretty much played out. Yeah.
Yep. So the doc is, I have like a general schedule doc, which I will share with my shadows very soon. I did ask one more person for review on it. But it outlines the requirements that I'm expecting of the shadows and has places for people to sign up for activities. So I'm very excited to try that out. I'm hoping that my shadows will have a wonderful time. One of whom is on the call. Hello. I hope you have a fun time being a shadow of comms. So I'm very excited about that. And I also have the email document started, and I started drafting that email asking for social lead help, but that may not get done until like next week. I put a delivery date on it for June 12th. What do you think about that, Mario?
I think I'm fine with this, but then we should send out the hey, a contributor summit is happening email still tomorrow.
Should we?
Yeah, because
Well,
this
I
was
mean, that's the
original-
tricky part, is that we have to do the comms about like the tricky stuff of
We're
holding a
assembling.
contributor summit.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the main problem
Which is-
that we basically have is that we wanted to announce the summit on the birthday of Kubernetes.
Oh, I didn't know that was a requirement, but
Oh.
okay.
Ooh. Huh. You think that's going to surface above the noise of the birthday?
Oh,
Yeah, good point.
that's the exact reason why we want to do it.
Oh, okay, got it.
I see.
Because then people are less complaining about it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we
Mm.
can gradually just increase communication about the summit.
Okay. I will
works.
try my best to get a draft for that done today then. All right, KCNS email.
But you basically can check one of the emails that Natalie created for Paris.
Well,
and
I mean,
just-
I have, but this is different. Because we need to communicate that like we're having this, and we know that a lot of our community is not going to be able to be there because of the laws in the city. So we need to acknowledge that in this email, and that makes it a very different tone from the usual KCNA announcement email. So that's why I'm like being cautious with it.
So this is an email going out. Can you give me the background on that, or explain that a little bit? So I'm kind of confused.
So the Kubernetes Contributor Summit will be happening at KubeCon North America. We have contributor summits at each KubeCon generally. So I'm the comms lead, so I'm talking about comms lead things. But what we're talking about is we want to have an email go out that's announcing that the summit is happening, and also asking the community if there's anyone that is interested in being the lead for the social event, because we haven't been able to fill that lead role yet.
That's the one here. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So those are the two main things that need to go into the email. We have, of course, previous emails announcing contributor summits, which we can build off of. But this one's a little bit unique because KubeCon North America this time is being held in Salt Lake City. And Salt Lake City passed a law recently that is problematic for a lot of our community. And so there's a lot of the community that is choosing not to attend KubeCon because of this law, which is totally understandable. So we're trying to be sensitive to that and communicate that we understand that and are supportive of the community making the choices that are right for them, but we're still going to hold the contributor summit, which has been a point of some contention because a lot of the community won't be able to be there. So it was a question, should we even hold the contributor summit? So, but we are planning to, and so we have to kind of explain that choice, I think, as we announce that we are holding the contributor summit to the community. That's the context I have.
Okay, so if you need more context, let me know.
No, that's good. Of course, I'm curious what it is, but I'm not going to delay things here.
Oh, the law?
Well,
it's
I can tell you.
Yeah, we can talk about
that. It's kind of simplistic in the way it's written to be enforced. It basically doesn't allow people to use their chosen gender restrooms in only government buildings. So like state of Utah government buildings. That's it. So that doesn't include the convention center or a lot of other places our folks are going to be. But in the same vein, the office in charge of enforcing this law has received thousands of complaints, none of which have been substantive enough to even investigate. So essentially the concern is a lot of people looking to have this law enforced in a certain way that is not intended are still reporting and probably still creating scenes in the process of reporting. And that immediately turned everybody off. So it's unfortunate and poorly timed. Other than that,
there's also been a lot of confusion about what the law actually says and additional like policies that go around it and stuff like that. So there's been a number of documents released trying to clarify, but it's still a little difficult.
It's the law still creates an environment where people that don't understand it will make a scene essentially, and nobody wants to be a part of that.
Yep, get it. Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
No problem.
Cool. So thank you, Mario.
And if anybody's watching the recording and I'm just wrong, please let me know, because that's what I've taken away from everything I've read about it so far.
Because we are all trying to figure this thing out. It's a little tough. Which is another reason why I'm like, writing this email is a little tricky. Because I can't say I understand it.
No.
Clearly. So I've got to definitely refer to other sources, more
There's lawyers and docs
sources.
And
Yes. There's a number of lawyer docs that we will refer to instead of me. But thank you, Mario, for conveying that goal. I will see what I can do to try to meet that. Any other questions about the Contributor Summit? I'll try to get that email done. Sounds like otherwise things are moving along all right. We do have a good amount of time until the summit because KubeCon North America is quite late this year relative and very far from you too.
We just create things early. So
which is great. We did not have that luxury for EU.
Yeah, it's better to get in front of it as soon as possible.
Absolutely. So thank you very much. If there are no other questions on the Contributor Summit, then we'll move on to the next item. Cool.
Mentoring, right?
Yes. The next item is mentoring.
Josh.
So this is, Josh.
did reach out to me, actually. So he's given me some links to look at. I haven't got around to doing it yet, but I will. So I could put an update on here.
Wonderful. I had forgotten that you had volunteered to help out with that. Thank you so much. And I'm excited to hear that you're making some progress.
To look at. I'm going to be out, though, for vacation for a week, so it may take a while before I can get to this. But,
it's taken a while to get to this point. So.
Yeah. Outstanding. Which is still pending. Yeah, he sent me some links. Cool. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's a great start.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking that on. We look forward to hearing updates from you as they come.
Sure.
That'll be
John
so awesome.
Josh. Did I put John? It should be Josh. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
All the J names.
Yeah, that has been an area that has desperately needed help for quite some time. So
it's one of those things where I would love to have helped, but it's not one of those things that you can just help occasionally. Like someone
Yeah.
has to actually steer it. Yeah.
It looks like, the ask is to reach out to leads of different groups and ask for mentoring opportunities or try and organize mentoring opportunities with them, from what I can see. I did have a quick look at the links he sent me when he first sent them out. That's what it looks like. Is that what you guys expect? Yeah. Okay.
I think that's a good start of a description.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
a couple of different components. There's a concept of mentoring cohorts within the community, which is something that is internally driven and just kind of like this group needs to fill this role, so we'll help guide them on what they need to do to guide others to do that. And then there's the more externally driven component of internship or mentorship programs like LFX mentorship, Google
Yeah.
Summer of Code, those types of programs. And for those, we just kind of need to know when they're happening, what their timelines are, and remind chairs and leads of groups that those are an opportunity that's available to them. If they want to submit a project to those, then they can make use of those. So those are kind of the two angles that I see of it.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, it kind of just requires like constant monitoring of, is there a mentoring project going on that we need to talk about, or is there one that's needed that we need to provide guidance on? Because those are just evergreen things.
Yeah, I'll have a look at it.
Yay.
Okay.
Thank you for taking a look. Any questions about mentoring?
Not a question, just a comment. Sylvester, if you join, I'll drop the link in chat, this mailing group, you will not have to suggest edits to the doc.
Oh.
You will have access to the doc.
Hopefully.
Okay.
There might be two that you have to join. You might also have to join dev.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe. I'll find that. Don't worry.
But yes, do join the mailing list. You'll also get our meetings.
I thought I did that already, actually, because that's how I got the
Yeah, you
meetings in
must
the
be.
calendar. Yeah, but yep.
So it might be that you're not in dev. I think you have to have both.
I'm in the Minikube group as well. So
Oh wow.
Oh, interesting.
and I've done PRs to that. So
Nice.
yeah, so I'm surprised I'm not in dev. Okay, thank you.
Write that out.
Yeah, it's Kubernetes dev, right? Yeah, okay.
Dev at
Kubernetes
Kubernetes.io.
Minikube. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean like the link.
Oh,
to
the link. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, guess so.
Yeah, I'm in
Wonderful.
there.
That is always a point of problems. You should really write out some stuff about that, about how you get access to be able to edit docs. Always a little tricky because you do it once and then you forget about it forever.
Right. It's a chicken and egg thing too, because it's like, is that part of org membership? No, it's not. It's you can do it now, Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's it's confusing, someone coming in. It is confusing. And I've seen emails with lots of people saying, how do I contribute? They've been looking on, to see for issues. And I've seen on the Slack, how do I contribute? I can't find anything to work on. And I think the key to, at least for me, was to join the meetings, because then you find out and you get more about it. So I think joining the meeting part is a big part.
Yeah, definitely the case for me as well. I'm glad to hear that's working for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. I would like to write some stuff about docs and calendars at some point. Not this week though. That's for sure. All right. Last call. Any questions, comments about mentoring? Oh, question about, did you use the old Kubernetes dev link?
Oh, I might have. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arvind.
Thank you, Arvind.
I should have checked the date. Yeah, it's last used in 2022. My bad.
Oh yeah, because we migrated that mailing list.
That's all my fault. Sorry.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on from mentoring. Is there anyone present from the contributor comms team to talk about what's going on over there?
Huh. There's a lot of us here today, actually. It's kind of nice.
Yep. I can start off since I added the first couple of things.
Sure thing.
Mario, thank you for being willing and interested in shadowing for sub-project lead. We should talk more about that and figure out plans for how to make sure that you're ready to go with that.
We had the PR, right? That happened?
Mario did it because he's on
thank you,
top of
Mario.
things.
Yes.
Which is why we're asking him to become lead.
Yeah.
Cool. So there are currently 2 leads of the sub-project, myself and Chris, and we're looking to add in Mario as a 3rd lead as well, because we definitely need that. Regardless, we should probably consider making that a 3-person job in general. Any questions about that?
Yeah, okay.
The next item I have on the list is myself, Chris, and Federico, who is the blogging lead for the comms sub project, helped out with writing the 10-year anniversary blog, which does exist in some form at the moment. So we're going to try to get that published tomorrow.
So yeah, Federico's working on it. There was a lot going on in the doc, so I took the liberty to just say, here's the clean markdown, off we go. And then I took the images and just edited them for the web, tossed them in, and Federico's going through the rest of it. Tim is going to review and all this stuff. Like, it's almost done. It feels like it'll be done this afternoon for sure.
There's currently a PR open that is in the works. Is the current state.
I can find that in my sea of tabs, but I've got to go to another meeting. I'm sorry.
Oh, thanks for joining.
Sorry.
You added one more thing here. Do you want to talk about it real quick?
Yes. So there's a PR that's open by Stephen Augustus, trying to get members of steering not to be tagged in ContribEx thingies. So if no one objects, I say we merge that post haste. But give it a look when you can and let me know.
Thank you for calling that out. I'll take a deeper look at that later. Thank you for joining.
No problem. See ya.
All right. And that's really not a comms thing. It's really a general SIG ContribEx thing, but thank you to Chris for calling it out. Any questions about stuff going on in contributor comms? I think everyone here has been on a comms meeting. I think we're all aware of what's going on in the group. Thank you all for joining. Still, I always like to call out. I always kind of do it at the end because I'm like, oh, I don't need to, but then I want to. I love to call out that we do have some newer members of the group, and we are continuing to have folks join in on our evergreen projects like the SIG Spotlight blogs. I think we have like 2 or 3 SIG Spotlight blogs in review right now. And I was just working on the annual report for SIG ContribEx, and it looked like we only released like 5 Spotlight blogs last year, and we're already almost at that this year. So it's going to be a big year for us, I think. I'll talk more about that in the comms meeting next time. So I think we'll move on from comms. I don't think we actually have anyone here from contributor documentation, but any updates on contributor documentation? Cool. There's one thing that I'll bring up there because it's also related to comms. I was just talking with one of the other leads of SIG ContribEx as we were working on the annual report stuff. And we were talking about the website, kates.dev, which is kind of under the comms umbrella, but we should probably do more to like build that out. And I brought up in comms last time that it feels like comms has a bunch of sub-projects itself, even though it is a sub-project. And so I did bring that up with the other leads of SIG ContribEx of, do we need to reorganize things a little bit to make that clearer? So that's a conversation that has started. We'll see if it goes anywhere. All right. Next item is moderation and media. Sometimes Chris has some updates on this because he's been working on the Zapier. Mario, you've worked on the Zapier every now and then. Anyone else involved in any moderation and media? Are there any updates there?
There's only a request by the CNCF that we
Yes.
upload the videos of Paris to the Kubernetes IO YouTube channel because they only have been uploaded to the CNCF one, and that's the wrong place. So this is something we need to correct, but I don't know who beside Bob or Nigel can actually do this.
Yeah.
What channel? Sorry, was that on YouTube?
There's a Kubernetes channel in YouTube.
And that's where we want it uploaded, right? Not the CNCF channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we have
Yeah.
a set of YouTube admins. Not very many of them, but
Nigel and Bob.
Yeah, that's the main problem. The only thing that come to my mind are Nigel and Bob.
We can add YouTube admins in Slack in case there is anyone else on that list. I don't know if that's been done yet in Summit staff. We could do that.
okay.
That's the only suggestion I have is at YouTube admins and Summit staff on that request.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about where those files are, what is involved with uploading them. Definitely YouTube admin thing. All right.
Yeah,
Any
I mean,
other
there are other people on the list. The question is whether or not any of those people are still active.
active? Mm-hmm.
Oh, am I going to have to become a YouTube admin? I hate YouTube.
We have a call out for onboarding new YouTube admins, and we have one person interested. That is a concern that has been raised, is that we don't have enough YouTube admins.
Yeah, well, no, nobody wants to do it because YouTube is horrible. So the where would that team live? Trying to look at who's on the team.
Is Chris also a YouTube admin? I think he is, technically.
Well, that would be good because he is not currently on vacation, as far as I know.
True.
So,
He was just here.
yeah, sorry, I had I forgot that I had a meeting this morning to do a handoff with somebody who's about to go on paternity leave. So,
All good.
All
good.
And since that person's one of the lead Kubernetes maintainers, so to take care of a bunch of things.
That is important.
So let's see. Actually, George is a YouTube admin as well.
Hmm.
I mean, we've got a
Possible.
couple of staff on there who have YouTube admin rights, who are at work. That is a list we really need to update because I see 3 people on it who are definitely not doing any admin thing anymore.
Sorry, guys, I need to drop.
All good. Thank you very much for taking notes for us and joining
Yeah.
today.
I'll see you soon again, hopefully. Thanks,
Good
everyone.
to see you.
Yeah, sorry I had to drop.
All good. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, so there's lots of people who have the permissions.
So we really need to update that owner's file as well.
Yeah.
Owner's file. All right. Taking note about that.
I mean, I think actually a general audit of our team membership might be a good idea.
Definitely true.
Because I'm just seeing. Oh, wow. Do you know that Jesse still is listed as somebody who runs contributor experience? We have not edited this file in a long time.
Send me the link in a DM.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we should bring that up in the ContribEx leads chat.
I mean, I would love to have most of these people back, but that doesn't mean that they're coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Such as open source.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's
drop
definitely
that.
something that we
drop
should
that.
do.
Yeah, because
Have
among
trouble
other things,
getting together.
yeah, get into stuff. But there are CNCF staff around who have admin rights on that channel, who are not on vacation, so we should be able to reach them.
Okay.
The
I think not that week because everyone is basically going to San Francisco.
Yeah. Next week.
yeah, the so
Okie dokie. Thank you for calling that out, Josh, and for finding
Yeah.
some of those files. We'll see what we can do about updating the owner's files and finding a YouTube admin to accomplish the currently needed task. Any other questions about moderation and media or comments?
no, it's still on my to-do list to do an audit of the Slack admins for that matter.
Okay.
Partly because we've had a couple of incidents recently where stuff got reported and nobody dealt with it for like 16 hours. So
Ooh.
which shows that we don't necessarily have enough around the clock coverage.
Yeah. Need more. Right. That is an important note. Can't deal with it this week, though. Like to help out with trying to figure that out, but all right.
Yeah. Oh, one thing actually for Slack moderation. Don't expect me to do about it, but just so people know, there's been a number of requests to add the GitHub bot to Slack. Because people like to get informed about PRs, etc., in their dev channel. The problem is that a couple of years ago, GitHub changed their Slack plugin to require broad administrative permissions. So we've banned it. And we do have a plugin through Prow, but it is much more complicated to configure.
Understandable.
So that's unresolved. Just for the notes.
Okay. It is a proud bond, but it is complex. Currently unresolved. Thank you. That is a useful note. Any other questions, comments on Zoom, Slack, and YouTube? Oh, I did also have a conversation with Priyanka yesterday about teaching the other leads what I learned about Zoom in our Zoom adventure recently of trying to get accounts for working groups and stuff. So we're planning to do a knowledge sharing meeting next month.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. A lot of updates there today, actually. Let's move on to the next item. Any updates on GitHub management from the group that we have here today? Guessing no.
No.
I think the only thing that came up and that we should have a look into is, and Josh, you already started looking into it, the whole Prow stuff. So all of the Prow jobs that are not on the community Prow cluster that affects ContribEx, we should rather sooner than later migrate all of them, because this is basically blocking the migration out of the private Google Prow cluster. So there's a private Google, a Prow cluster that runs in a private Google account, and this needs to move until end of year, or rather sooner than later. Let's put it this way. And for this, all of the jobs that are on this cluster need to migrate to a community-owned cluster. That's the thread that Ben started last week.
Okay.
So we should, yeah.
Yeah. Do we have, comms announcements and an information page about that?
I don't think so.
Okay. So we're going to need to prepare stuff so that, because it's not just ContribEx. Other people have stuff running on the old cluster, yeah?
Yeah, but as far as I know, Ricky basically moved 90% of the stuff that they can move already. So the footprint is really, really small. Now it's only very specific stuff. So cloud providers specific stuff, some magic stuff that no one knows what's happening in those jobs, and so it's only a fraction anymore. So the most of these jobs have been already moved by Ricky.
Okay. Okay. I mean, sounds like a project. Is this something is this a thing we could recruit to, or does somebody need like a lot of previous knowledge and experience to be able to do this?
I mean, the best is the people that know the jobs migrate them. That's the point.
Yeah, but I'm willing to bet that some of these jobs were created by people who are no longer involved with the project.
Probably.
In which case, the first question is whether or not the job should even still exist.
I mean,
one of the ways to do it is don't migrate the job and see what happens.
We had this discussion.
Yeah.
in infra.
Yeah.
And just say like, yeah, turn it off and wait until somebody else.
Sometimes
it's
what
valid.
You gotta do.
Listen, back in my sysadmin days, sometimes the answer was, well, let's turn that server off and see who complains about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
There are also like jobs that no one could really identify because they use credentials that no one know that they existed because they existed in some magic secret.
Of course they do.
Yeah. But I mean, we have the code for all of these, so we can recreate them if it turns out they're doing something valuable.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that's going to be the answer. If we really can't identify the job or what it's doing, then the answer is don't migrate it. And if it turns out that it breaks something to not migrate it, and put comms out, right? Put comms out to all the contributors saying, hey, we've migrated to the new cluster. If you see anything weird or anything missing, report it here.
Yeah. I mean, the migration there's not yet a 100% timeline on the migration thing because this involves certain alignment of stars, let's put it this way. But I think Ben just wanted to reach out that, hey, check if you have jobs that are running there that you need. It's just like we should have a look on this. And I know that we have the GitHub subgroup that have also a meeting like every other week. So maybe we move this topic there.
Yep. Yeah. I'm just saying that this might become a general SIG effort to deal with it if there's still a whole bunch of trailing stuff. Because, for example, if we have old jobs that were created by somebody who's no longer in the project that are poorly documented and have the wrong credentials, but they look important, it may be a matter of throwing it out and even throwing it on leads, SIG leads, and saying, hey, does anybody know what this is for? Is this something you depend on? Because it very well might be, oh, right, that's something that Andrew created back in 2018, and it actually corrects for this terrible behavior GitHub used to have, which I'm not sure whether or not that's still valid. I'm willing to bet that we have a number of jobs still associated with FajetaBot, and then other ones that turn that off.
Indeed. Sounds like there's some interesting considerations with this. So I look forward to comms on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up so that we don't lose it in Slack.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that, because I had no idea that existed.
Yeah, no, and I've been paying more attention to the image hosting, which is still a thing.
And it's also birthday week, so everybody's everywhere.
Yeah. So
oh yeah, the image.
Yeah, who's gonna be there
thing.
tomorrow? Are you gonna be down there, Caslin? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
See you there.
I will be in Munich. I will be I will be at the event in Munich with
nice.
Max Körbacher organized it, so
nice.
Yeah, I have pointed out us doing things in the evening in San Francisco means that the live stream is going to be, nobody in Europe is going to be watching the live stream, but
yeah,
we already will be fed up on cake by this time.
Yeah.
And we will have settled the argument that is the birthday on the 7th or on the 6th, because for European folks, I believe the birthday is on the 7th.
Well, what are we counting the birthday from anyway?
I think
Beta's
from the
first commit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the link to it. I can grab that for you.
Yeah, this would be nice if you have it somewhere.
I do have it handy right here. Let me grab that link. It is now in the chat.
But I mean time zones,
see what
right?
It says
so
for you.
It will always be in a different. Yeah, it was on the 7th of June for me.
For me, it's June 6th.
At 1 a.m. 1:40 a.m.
It was committed from Seattle, so I think Pacific time is
this
the
counts. I think so as well.
Way.
Okay.
But fair point.
Wait, hold on. Oh no, because Docker, the first DockerCon was a week later.
Yeah, the big announcement of it was on June 10th. This stuff will all be in the blog, which you should all read tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to think of the timing of it because I was tech press at the time, and I actually covered the announcement.
Nice.
So I was like, but wait. And somehow I had it in my head that the first DockerCon was in April, but no, it was in mid-June.
Yeah.
So, and yes, let me containerize that for you.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Also, yeah. If you would like to review the blog, Josh, here is the link. Also, we only have 9 minutes left, so I'd like to move on to the next topic, which is elections.
Right, and I've been juggling too many things. We have confirmed the group of people
election
who
officers?
are the election subproject, and I need to get the SIG leads to approve that because there's a couple of changes to that list. But we have enough people working for enough different employers to avoid bias. And then that election subproject group can approve the new election officers. which I'm not expecting to be really a problem because the last year's election officers are mostly still available. So it would be a case of retaining 2 of them and recruiting a new one. But yeah, I need to get on that so that we can actually get things rolling on time. Problem is I can't really do it until next week because nobody's paying attention.
Such as the birthday.
Yeah, such as the birthday. Yeah. So theoretically any day now, Laura and I are going to get seriously working on Electo's backlog of feature requests. But it hasn't happened yet.
Okie dokie. Backlog of feature requests. Lovely. All right. So that is actually the last item in our agenda. Now it's time for open mic and discussion if anyone has anything else that they want to discuss in these last 7 minutes. More discussion about Prowbots. Any last questions, comments?
I will update the PR for the website, for the Kubernetes.dev website for the contributor summit tonight. Bob already, I will fill in the changes that Bob requested, which are mostly, hey, you forgot to move to 2024.
Ah, yeah, that is important.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
Okay.
Then have
I
a
think that we
nice
have,
birthday.
yeah, everyone have a wonderful 10-year anniversary of Kubernetes.
Yep.
And we'll
Who
see
knew
you all
we'd still
next
be
time.
around?
Yeah, who knew?
It's funny to remind people now that, like I said, you know, when I adopted Kubernetes back in 2015, it was a gamble.
Yep.
Right? Like Mesos looked actually much more viable, except that it didn't actually fix my personal use case. So
I heard a lot of that in the early days.
Yeah. Well, it turns out that was true of a whole lot of people, which is why Kubernetes is big now and Mesos is not.
Hit the nail on the head.
Yep. You know, and Docker was marketing Swarm really heavily. And in a different world, they could have turned Swarm into a real production tool, but they did not do that.
Yeah, I was Team Docker Swarm, but now I'm Team Kubernetes.
Yeah. So you just never know about these things, right? Because, you know, Kubernetes was kind of in the middle, right? It didn't have the features of Mesos or the scalability. And it wasn't as easy to use as Swarm. And you never know when you're going to be in the desirable middle or the undesirable middle.
Yep. Cool. Folks should check out the blog post for a deeper review of the history of Kubernetes, starting all the way from the beginning of containers. I'm excited about it.
I look forward to it.
Yay. All right. And we have accomplished our goal with this meeting, so I will now end the recording. Goodbye, YouTube.